Viewer discretion is advised.
Boom, perfect timing.
Okay, so you were looking for a reason to arrest Mr. Crawford that day, correct?
Objection form.
No, ma'am, I was not looking for a reason to arrest him.
Well, if his license came back clear and his insurance came back clear, at that point in time, there was no reason to arrest him for, or any warrants or anything. There was no warrants that came back on him, right?
No, ma'am.
Okay. And so at this point, the reason why you want to continue the search is to see if there was anything in there that you could arrest him for. Isn't that true?
No, ma'am, not anything that I could arrest him for. I go back and restate my previous testimony is that we're looking for anything that could be evidence of intoxication. So we're looking for beer bottles, drug residue, something like that. Also, you'll notice that Officer Sims requested an MDT picture of Mr. Crawford.
Mm-hmm.
That's because occasionally people lie to the police about their identity. And I believe that his intent there is to just confirm that he is who he says he was.
Because if he wasn't, you guys would arrest him, right?
Yes, ma'am. That'd be a criminal offense.
Okay. And if you found evidence of intoxication in his car, it was so that you could arrest him, right?
Yes, ma'am. In order to keep other drivers on the road safe from somebody who's driving under the influence of drugs or alcohol. Yes, ma'am.
Objection, non-responsive. I'm asking you a simple question. You were looking for a reason to arrest Mr. Crawford that day, weren't you?
Yes, ma'am. That's right.
A lot of your prior testimony is not the same as what we saw in the video right there, right?
Objection form.
Like I said, I'm testifying off the best of my memory, and I'm able to see and refresh some stuff there, yeah.
Fair enough. And you see Mr. Crawford pushing Sims, correct?
No, ma'am.
You didn't see Mr. Crawford pulling from Sims, correct?
I guess at one point he may have still.
Well, you're speculating, right? Because you didn't really see that on the video, right?
Well, I'm trying to now, at this moment, remember every frame of the video. So at any frame of the video, did he pull away? Yeah, he may have.
You don't know. You're guessing.
I'm not guessing. You asked me a question, and I'm trying to answer it to the best of my knowledge. If you want to watch it again, I can.
No, I don't want you. I don't need you to do that. But you said that, yeah, he may have, as though he may not have, right?
The body camera doesn't capture every action and stuff, especially at that close range. So he may have pulled away. But you said he may not have? Yes, he may not have.
At this point, how you would describe Mr. Crawford's interaction with you, would you consider it to be cordial, rude, I think defensive?
Sure. It's been, I think, cordial, but again, he answers his age a couple times when I'm asking him his origin and destination, and I just found that a little unusual.
Do you think that maybe he was trying to convey to you that he was an adult and you were treating him like a child, asking him where he was going and why he was going? Do you think maybe that's why he was iterating the fact that he was a 45-year-old man?
Objection form.
I don't know if that was his intent. That was not what I understood.
But he did answer your question nonetheless, right?
After a few repeated times asking it, yeah.
He didn't have to, though, right?
I'm sorry?
He did not have to answer any of your questions, did he?
Yes, that's correct.
What did I do?
Is there a reason why nobody could answer him when he simply just telling him what he did?
There's not a reason.
What did you see? What's going on?
Now, we see you grabbing Mr. Crawford's arm, don't we?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I don't have anything. What's going on? I'm taking the ground.
And we see Officer Sims state that he was taking Mr. Crawford to the ground, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And he didn't take him to the ground with the arm that you were holding, did he?
No, ma'am.
He took him to the ground with his other arm, didn't he?
Yes, ma'am.
So you had one arm, Sims had one arm, but
Mhm.
instead of cuffing Mr. Crawford, you did not stop Sims, and Sims decided that he would use that arm to take Mr. Crawford to the ground, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Give me your other arm. Put it behind your back. What's going on? What's going on? I don't know what's going on, sir.
Okay. And can you tell me how Sims is positioned on Mr. Crawford here?
It looks like he's kind of mounted on top of him. I can't tell what part of his body he's on right now.
And it sounds like he's giving him an instruction, right?
Yes.
What's the instruction he's giving him?
I heard him say, give me your other hand.
Or give me your arm?
Sure.
Just to be clear, he had Mr. Crawford's arm before he got him to the ground, correct?
I believe so, yes.
And you had the other one, correct?
Yes.
And now we get him to the ground just to do what? Ask for his arm again, right?
Mm-hmm.
Put your hand behind your back. Watch out. Taser.
In all this commotion, Mr. Crawford never once struck you, did he?
No, ma'am.
And he didn't kick you, right?
Not that I recall.
Yet we see him being choked by this civilian here, right?
I
I can
don't-
play.
Go backwards or forwards and
Okay.
have a look.
Well,
Wanna go night-night? Wanna go night-night?
actually, that was Sims, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you hear what he said?
Yes, I did.
What did he say?
I think he said, do you want to go night-night?
You knew what he meant by that?
Yes, ma'am. I understood it was a threat.
What type of threat?
Probably to bring him to unconsciousness.
Damn, I got blood. Okay. I got him.
Do you hear Mr. Crawford?
Yes, ma'am.
He's groaning, isn't he?
Yes, ma'am.
Still being choked, right? This continuing to be choked, correct?
I mean, choked, I don't know. It looks like he's got his hand around his upper torso or whatever, but yeah, maybe.
Okay.
Stop pulling away.
Is it clear now?
Yes.
There's another video I want to show just really quick. It's a short video. Now, this one doesn't have any sound. It's the surveillance footage. Now we see McDaniel striking him. We also see the civilian striking him, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Same time, right?
Mhm.
Okay. Now we see McDaniel's put her foot on him, correct?
I think so. It's tough to tell.
Okay. We see two more officer squad cars arrive, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
We see McDaniel's kicking him, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Serrett, can you agree that ultimately that Mr. Crawford, when you engaged him, he was not committing a crime at all, was he?
No, ma'am.
What do you do for yourself now?
Don't
Are you
answer
still in
that.
law enforcement?
Don't answer that.
You answer it. Are you still in law enforcement?
No, I'm instructing him not to answer. Don't answer that.
Are you still in law enforcement? Can you tell me, prior to deciding to detain Mr. Crawford, if it would have been reasonable, instead of handcuffing him, to find out what the pills were, to actually read the bottle of the pills, that contained the pills, to see what they were?
Sure, but the pills were not in a bottle when I located them. They were in tied up pieces of plastic bag, and so I wasn't able to read any bottle. They were loose in a plastic bag, which meant that I needed to use the pill identifier to figure out what they were.
So it's your testimony that there was no pill bottle on the scene there in the bag?
No, ma'am, that's not what I said.
Yeah.
I said that when I first saw the pills, that they were wrapped up in plastic bags, little pieces of plastic bag with a couple pills each in them. And that's what how they were packaged.
Okay. So why were you not able to read the pill bottle?
As soon as I saw the pills packaged the way they were, that's unusual. And it's actually, anytime a pill is not packaged in its prescription container in the state of Texas. It's an offense that falls under possession of a dangerous drug. So it was, even if they were absolutely benign prescriptions, I knew that at the very least there was a possible offense at hand and that we needed to detain him. So I didn't look any further into what the pills were. I knew at that moment when I located them that there was a possibility that there was a problem, or an offense, so we needed to detain him to investigate further.
Okay, so let's go back into that. His pills were in the container. They were in a bag from the pharmacist, weren't they? With the label, correct?
No, ma'am, that's not my memory of it at all.
Okay, so they were just, you had to pick them up pill by pill from wherever you found them, and that's how they were? They weren't in any bag?
No, ma'am.
Misstates the testimony.
Mr. Adarsha, restate.
Sorry, I was just objecting that she was misstating your testimony. You can go ahead and answer.
Okay, right. Like I had said before, I located a bag in the trunk that I then brought around to the front seat and dumped out into the front seat so I could see it better because it was very dark in the trunk. I pointed my flashlight right there at the seat and saw the plastic little, it's like portions of grocery bag that were tied into a knot with several pills each inside of them. And like I said, that's when I chose to investigate further by detaining Mr. Crawford.
Describe the bag they were in.
I don't remember. I think it was a paper bag, but it may have been a larger grocery bag. I don't remember.
Mm-hmm. And it may have been the prescription bag, correct?
That's possible.
Okay. Mr. Serrett, this is you standing next to Mr. Crawford's car, correct?
I don't see a video. I just see your the PDF. Okay, I see it now.
And that's you back there with the full beard?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay, good. No switchblades, nothing like that. Okay. You ain't got kilos, bricks, birds back there, nothing like that.
Bird, well, if it was a bird, it'd be flying in the air, right?
Okay, okay.
Birds fly in the air, right?
Some, yeah. Okay, so, but nothing bad in the car today, man?
Nothing bad in the car.
All right, any narcotics in the car today? A little bit of weed? No paraphernalia?
Paraphernalia.
Nothing like that, okay. Have you been arrested at Baytown before, man?
Can you hear the inflection in Officer Sims' voice?
What inflection do you mean?
Yeah, high, low.
He's just talking.
Okay. You don't hear him sounding a little excited with his voice going up and down?
I think he's just trying to be friendly. It's kind of friendly inflection. I would call it conversational.
Okay, great.
What happened?
All right, have you been arrested before or anything?
No, sir.
Did your driver license through Texas? Sir. I was waiting on you, man. I was waiting on this return real quick. Okay. So while I'm waiting on the return, is it cool if I make sure nothing bad in the car today?
I mean, you want to search the car, you can search it.
Okay.
I have the insurance, but at the same time,
How were you able to open his door without using the handle?
I think it was already partially open. I probably grabbed it by the door frame.
When you were messing with it, like I said before, right?
Sure. I don't remember that, but I'm able to see it now, so it looks like that's what I did.
I
Yeah.
wonder why you want to search my car.
Man, you know, honestly, we searched a lot of vehicles. I noticed you're a little nervous. I noticed
I'm not nervous at all.
Once we got there, you kind of jump out of the car really quick. My biggest concern, I want to make sure you don't have a gun in the car.
Well, when you're 45-year-old man,
Right.
and you ain't done nothing wrong.
Right.
First thing you think.
Were you looking for guns in the car or for alcohol or for substances?
I mean, a gun, if it was found, would just prompt us to ask him about it.
Mm-hmm.
Looking for any evidence of criminal activity.
Can you tell me, is it illegal in Texas for a person to have a gun?
No, ma'am.
So what would be the problem if he had a gun in his car?
There would be no problem.
So why were you guys searching his car for guns?
I'm not specifically searching his car for a gun.
So Sims was not telling the truth, right?
I am not Officer Sims. and I did not say that.
I understand, but Officer Sims was not telling the truth when he said that, correct?
I don't feel like I can answer that question.
I'm wondering why you searching my car anyway. Right?
Check Kedric Crawford. He's local. He's 99 Sesame from Orange, Texas. He has a clear current DL and a clear current ID.
Can you send me a driver's license picture of my MDT?
Now, the dispatcher, did you hear what she said on the call?
It's kind of fuzzy, but yeah, I think so.
She said his license was clear and he had insurance, right?
Yes.
Why did you guys continue and not just tell him, thank you, we appreciate you for your time?
Well, I guess at this point, I haven't finished the search at this point, and also the possibility of intoxication was still on the table at this point. So
you're just
that's
looking
why
for a
we
reason
stopped.
to. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Let him finish.
Would you let me finish and stop that, please?
Well, you're interrupting my witness.
You're interrupting me. Like, calm down.
Go ahead, Mr. Serrett.
I just said that's why I didn't stop.
Okay, so you were looking for a reason to arrest Mr. Crawford that day, correct?
Objection form.
No, ma'am, I was not looking for a reason to arrest him.
Well, if his license came back clear and his insurance came back clear, at that point in time, there was no reason to arrest him for, or any warrants or anything. There was no warrants that came back on him, right?
No, ma'am.
Okay. And so at this point, the reason why you want to continue the search is to see if there was anything in there that you could arrest him for. Isn't that true?
No, ma'am, not anything that I could arrest him for. I go back and restate my previous testimony is that we're looking for anything that could be evidence of intoxication. So we're looking for beer bottles, drug residue, something like that. And then also, would you like me to continue?
Yeah.
Also, you'll notice that Officer Sims requested an MDT picture of Mr. Crawford. That's because occasionally people lie to the police about their identity. And I believe that his intent there is to just confirm that he is who he says he was.
Because if he wasn't, you guys would arrest him, right?
Yes, ma'am. That'd be a criminal offense.
Okay. And if you found evidence of intoxication in his car, it was so that you could arrest him, right?
Yes, ma'am. In order to keep other drivers on the road safe from somebody who's driving under the influence of drugs or alcohol. Yes, ma'am.
Objection, non-responsive. I'm asking you a simple question. You were looking for a reason to arrest Mr. Crawford that day, weren't you?
Yes, ma'am. That's right.
You should have a what now?
Clear current driver's license?
Yeah.
That's it. But you see, that's the thing, man. Usually when
You searching my car, I got insurance and everything. I mean, I'm wondering what's going on.
And that's it, man. I just noticed a little bit of nervous behavior, dude.
So you still searching my car while I got insurance and everything? Driver license, insurance?
Yeah, because I see nervous behavior.
Oh,
Watch what I'm Baytown. Can you replay me out?
I didn't catch what you said. You want me to send what you said?
If you can find a recent driver's license photo, just send it to my MDT or email it to me.
Right.
That's it, man. Hey, dude.
Is Mr. Crawford looking as though he's nervous to you?
It's tough to tell through a body camera.
Okay.
Nothing personal. We're just out here doing our job, you know? Ain't nothing wrong with it.
when you really think about it, person with driver license insurance, you got to think about it. That's kind of weird.
No, because honestly, I've caught people felony amounts of narcotics and guns with people with valid driver's license, valid insurance, and everything, man.
But you say what you want to say. Think about it. That's not a probable cause. You search the person's car.
Yeah, no, you're
But
right.
I don't have a problem.
Okay, yes, no big deal,
All
man.
you want.
Hey, you mind if I check your pockets, make sure you ain't got nothing? I can?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'll make sure, man.
I got a little mace can.
Okay, I'm going to grab that so I don't want to get... not saying you will. I just don't want to get sprayed today, boss. Yeah, here's your money, man. You can hold on to that for me, please, sir. That would be a bad day, man. Have you ever been pepper sprayed? You don't feel good. Is your life, man?
Yeah.
That would.
I have driver's license, I have insurance, so you treating me like this, and just because I was.
Man, honestly, I'm just going over on behavior, man. There's nothing personal.
Okay.
Dude, I make 100 of these stops at least.
Is what Mr. Officer, is what Sims is stating true? That is that true for you? That also that you make hundreds of those stops like this?
I don't know about hundreds, but it's not an uncommon kind of, consensual encounter investigation kind of thing.
Anything in here, man? And this flashlight?
Flashlight.
Can I check it real quick?
You can check it out. You want.
Okay. You'd be surprised what people can hide in here, man. Hey, on this mace candy, I'm gonna hold on to this till we get done with this stop, and we'll get out of here. All right, man? Ain't nothing but a thing. Can you hold on to this for me, please?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, man.
It's my personal property. Yeah.
It is.
I'm really being searched. I mean, you would think about it. Think about what's going on.
What?
Look how I'm being harassed. I mean.
How you being harassed, man? Have I ever seen you before?
Pockets all of them. No, I got driver's license, insurance, and everything, right?
Yeah, you do. As far as I know.
Yeah.
You're okay, man.
Yes, sir. I'm a 45-year-old man. So y'all treat everybody the same way?
Yeah. I do. Yeah, dude, honestly, like I said, I go on behavior. That is it, man. Right now, you're showing me a little bit of.
Now, tell me about what you think is the problem with his responses to Sims's questions so far.
I mean, the main thing for me is the repetition about the driver's license and insurance when that's not the issue, or saying that he's being harassed. Mr. Sims is being perfectly friendly with him, so harassment's not maybe how it should be characterized. Oftentimes, people will mask other criminal behavior behind saying they're being harassed or incredulity at the situation. And so I think that may be, you said, what's the problem? That just may be some indicators that make it seem like it should be looked into further.
Okay. And you weren't around right then, right? You were somewhere in the trunk, right?
Yes, ma'am, that's right.
So you didn't hear any of this, right?
No, ma'am.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I ain't showing you nothing.
I know you're not trying to, but this, as far as like, okay, think about it, man. I'll put you in myself in your, I'll put you in my shoes. I'm up here, I'm rolling around. I see a car doing some weird stuff. I make contact. The driver quickly gets out of the car. That little weirdy. And again, man, I'm not throwing judgment at you or anything. I'm just trying to put you in my shoes.
Oh man.
You can answer that. That's fine.
Can I
Yeah,
ask
go
my
ahead,
phone?
man. Go ahead, dude. Don't call nobody up here. They'll go to jail.
Don't call nobody up here.
Yeah, say, hey, I'm over here. Come over here, because people will go to jail.
Hello? Yeah, I'm being harassed by officers. They got me
Harassed.
for some reason. I don't know what's going on. I got driver license, insurance, everything, and
Yeah, man.
Sir, I totally searching my car. I mean, what's going on? I don't understand.
What do you mean? I search it. Yeah, you go ahead and search. That's what's going on right now.
I don't understand.
What do you not understand, sir? Hey, I'm gonna put your beverage spray back here.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing to it, man. No need to be tripping or nothing.
Okay, so what's the issue? I don't understand.
Honestly, you're nervous. I'm seeing some nervous behavior.
Why wouldn't I be? I mean, I'm not nervous. What I'm saying, what's going on?
I'm just checking you out, man. You gave us consent
I
to
don't have
search.
any warrants, right?
No, but hey, you said, oh, this is consensual. You're staying here. You gave us consent to search. Well, yeah, we're gonna search it. I mean, and we haven't found nothing in there.
I got insurance, everything. What's
Okay,
going on?
and what does that have to do with anything?
So when am I free to go?
Whenever, man.
Whenever?
Yeah. All right, put your money back.
What did I do?
Don't tense up, dude.
What did I do?
Freaking drop you.
What did I do? What's going on? I don't have anything. What's going on?
I'm taking the ground.
Sir, I didn't do anything.
Put it behind your back.
What's going on? What's going on? I don't know what's going on, sir.
Got his hand? Yep.
What's going on?
129 repeat.
What's going on?
129. We're fighting. Put your hand behind your back. I'm going to tase
Sir,
you.
I'm just doing it.
Put your hand on your back.
Clear. Oh, yeah.
Put your hand behind your back.
I'm not doing it.
Taser.
Oh, sir, I didn't do anything.
Put your hand behind your back. That's it. Taser deployed. Watch out. Let me get. Watch out. Watch out. Taser. Put your hand on your back.
No, sir, please don't. You're killing me, man.
Watch out.
Since we cannot see anything further, we can only hear, I'm going to stop the video there. And what was the last time that you saw that video?
Yeah, it's like I said, it's probably been at least 3 years.
A lot of your prior testimony is not the same as what we saw in the video right there, right?
Objection form.
Like I said, I'm testifying off the best of my memory, and I'm able to see and refresh some stuff there. Yeah.
Fair enough. And you see Mr. Crawford pushing Sims, correct?
No, ma'am.
You didn't see Mr. Crawford pulling from Sims, correct?
I guess at one point he may have still.
Well, you're speculating, right? Because you didn't really see that on the video, right?
Well, I'm trying to now at this moment remember every frame of the video. So at any frame of the video, did he pull away? Yeah, he may have.
You don't know. You're guessing.
I'm not guessing. You asked me a question, and I'm trying to answer it to the best of my knowledge. If you want to watch it again, I can.
No, I don't want you. I don't need you to do that. But you said that, yeah, he may have, as though he may not have, right?
The body camera doesn't capture every action and stuff, especially at that close range. So he may have pulled away. But you said he may not have? Yes, he may not have.
I'm going to start the other video from kind of where we left off. And this is going to be from your body-worn camera. When was the last time that you've seen this?
I haven't watched any of the videos, like I said, in the same period of time, at least 3 years.
Okay.
Gas station.
This is Sims in this video, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
129 in Montreal.
Man, I just want to check you out, make sure everything's okay, man. Yeah, I saw you back. You were about to turn out on the road, and then you backed up. What's up with that?
GPS on the phone.
We're trying to go, man. We're trying to go. Oh, okay. Yeah, dude, what? Oh, you go right there. Okay. That's fine, man. I'll just get your name, your date of birth. We'll get on out of here, man. What's your last name? I'm sorry? A-D-R-I-C. Birthday, sir? 7-1.
Where do you live at, man?
Where you coming from today? Okay. Yeah.
But I'm lost, you know. The only thing was, I was using GPS on the phone.
Okay, you on probation, parole, bond? Okay, good, man. Is your vehicle, man? Orange? I'm gonna go just check this on my computer real quick, man.
Are you guys able to see the video?
Yes.
Where do you live at, dude? In Orange? All right. That's a heck of a drive, man. You making that drive tonight?
Well, I'm actually, I'm 45 years old, sir.
Okay.
So is the problem with driving?
No, I was just asking. That's a long drive to make at night. Are you gonna make that drive
Oh, no,
tonight?
I'm going to Houston.
Okay.
I'm going back to Houston. Yeah.
So so you say you live in Orange?
I live in it.
Staying in Houston right now?
Stay in it.
All right. So what are you going to Houston for? That's all I'm asking, man. I'm just trying to understand what you're.
Houston for?
Yeah.
My person, I'm from Houston. I stay in. I'm 45 years old.
Okay.
I'm not trying to cause you all this problem, but
No problem, man. I just asked you a question. So you say you stay in Orange, so you're on your way to Houston. You're going to stay out there or what?
yeah, I have a mother out there. I have kids out there.
Pretty cool. Part of Houston.
Outside of Houston. You want to put a car?
All right.
Save my gas.
No, that's all right. Hold on a second, dude. I'll turn it off for you. Stay up there.
You cut it off.
That's okay. Stay up there about the front of the car. I'm just going to turn off engine for you. You're right. See, no, not right now, man. Oh, yeah, that's all we're checking, man.
I thought I probably gave you a good idea what was going on.
Well, at this point, man, as long as you ain't got no warrants for murder or nothing like that, then we're going to be straight, okay?
Yeah, with the shot, I think.
I was listening to that.
Yeah.
It's catching.
Yeah. Put the jack on the frame instead of the body.
At this point, how you would describe Mr. Crawford's interaction with you? Would you consider it to be cordial, rude, I think defensive?
Sure. It's been I think cordial, but again, he answers his age a couple times when I'm asking him his origin and destination, and I just found that a little unusual.
Do you think that maybe he was trying to convey to you that he was an adult and you were treating him like a child, asking him where he was going and why he was going? Do you think maybe that's why he was iterating the fact that he was a 45-year-old man?
Objection form.
I don't know if that was his intent. That was not what I understood.
But he did answer your question nonetheless, right?
After a few repeated times asking it, yeah.
He didn't have to, though, right?
I'm sorry?
He did not have to answer any of your questions, did he?
Yes, that's correct.
There was even one point where he apologized and said he's not trying to be any trouble for you all, right?
Yes, I think he said that.
They gonna pay to fix that for you?
Sir?
They gonna pay to fix that for you?
I'm not a butthole.
You're not worried about it?
Going out of here. So, man, just talking, he got out of the car pretty quick. There's no guns in the car today? All right, dude, I make sure it wasn't a freaking AK back there or anything, sawed off, nothing like that, right? Okay, good. No switchblades, nothing like that. They ain't got kilos, bricks, birds back there, nothing like that.
Bird, well, if it was a bird, it'd be flying in there.
What did this Sims mean when he says there's no birds or bricks or anything like that? What does that mean?
Birds, I'm not sure what he means by that, but bricks would probably mean bricks or kilos of cocaine. It's a common method for packaging large amounts of narcotics.
Is that how you all normally talk to individuals instead of just saying large amount of packaged narcotics?
Yeah, it's pretty common to use the common terms for it. Lots of people, I mean, I'd say most people would be weirded out if you said, "Is there a kilogram of cocaine?" So I mean, cops don't even call it that.
What do cops call it?
Like kilos or bricks are definitely the most common terms for that.
Do you engage in this type of dialect when you question individuals?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, just because it's the same lingo that is well known for that kind of thing.
Okay. And is that across cultural lines?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Okay.
Birds fly there, right?
Some, yeah. Okay, so, but nothing bad in the car today, man? Any narcotics in the car today? A little bit of weed? No paraphernalia? Nothing like that, okay. Have you been arrested in Baytown before, man? Have you ever been arrested before or anything? Did you drive license through Texas? I was waiting on you, man. I was waiting on this return real quick, okay. So while I'm waiting on the return, is it cool if I make sure nothing bad in the car today?
I mean, you want to search the car, you can search it. But I wonder why you want to search my car.
Man, honestly, we search a lot of vehicles. I know some real nervous. I know some nervous.
Now, he told Officer Sims that he could search the car. Is there a reason why you searched the car instead of Sims?
Consent given to one officer applies to any on scene.
How do you know that?
I'll tell you what, I don't know that I've ever been taught that.
Okay.
Once we got there, trying to jump out of the car really quick. My biggest concern, I want to make sure you don't have a problem.
Well, when you're 45-year-old man.
Right.
And you don't want to do something wrong. I'm wondering why you're not right.
Kedric Crawford.
But you see this thing, man, usually when I'm in my car, I have insurance. That's it, man. I just wanted a little bit more. That's it, man. Seriously, this is how you do our job, you know?
I think God like insurance. You gotta think about it.
Building about the body, guns, valid driver's license, valid insurance, and everything, man.
So if you want to think about it, that's not going to
Hey, do you know if I check the box, make sure you ain't got anything? Not saying you will. I don't want to get the birthday, boss. That would be a bad day. You ever been there?
Do you happen to know where this light is coming from back here in this trunk?
I think it might be the reflection of my flashlight, or I don't know, maybe there's a bulb back there. I'm not sure.
But there is light in the trunk, isn't there?
Right. Yep. Because of my flashlight. Yep.
Okay. What are you doing? What are you doing at this point? Do you know?
Searching the vehicle.
Okay. Now we know that there's light in the back in the trunk where you're at, and we see you holding a pill bottle, but you maintain that you were not able to read the pill bottle until after you engaged Mr. Crawford, correct?
Sure. I remember now, having seen the video, that there was a pill bottle to begin with, but I could see inside the pill bottle the plastic bags with the pills inside.
Thank you.
It's unlocked.
Is there a reason why you didn't alert Sims at this point in time when you found the pill bottles? Excuse me, the pill bottle with the pills inside that you could see?
There's not a reason. Just was trying to be methodical. Sometimes in searching, you forget to cover a portion of the vehicle, and so I wanted to make sure that I finished before I, went deeper into the pill bottle.
Were you alerted that there was an issue with the pill bottle at that point in time? Because I think I heard you just testify that you saw the pills in the inside of the car, excuse me, of the pill bottle in the trunk of the car. Was that not a reason to, at that point in time?
Yes, it was.
Okay, but you decided not to do that, but continue to search the car, even though you had a reason at that point in time, according to you, to detain him.
Yes, ma'am, that's right.
Okay. Okay, so we see that you poured the pills out of the bottle onto the seat of the vehicle, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And we see that you're not done searching the car yet, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, but at this very moment, you decide to put your signal up to Sims, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and we also know that upon finding the pills in the back of the vehicle, you decided to forego detaining him as a result of those pills. Was that because you were looking for something better to arrest him for?
No, ma'am.
Why was that not sufficient?
It was sufficient. Like I said, at that point, I was just trying to be thorough and discover everything there was to discover.
What else were you looking for if you already
And
found the crime?
anything like cocaine, methamphetamine, like any drug. The also kind of making sure that there's not a weapon involved also.
Or it was because you knew that you had not found a crime, you had not found anything wrong with those pills, and you wanted to, and that's why you continue to search, correct?
No, ma'am, that's not correct.
Okay, let's continue.
I do. What did I do? What did you see? What's going on?
Now, at this point, I think that we can see engagement with Mr. Crawford as well as Sims, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And what was the reason why you decided to lunge at Mr. Crawford right then?
Objection form.
I believe that it looked like he wasn't complying with commands for handcuffing, or that he pulled away from Sims.
Okay, let's go back and take a look at this for just a moment.
What did I do? What did I do?
Is there a reason why nobody could answer him when he simply just telling him what he did?
There's not a reason.
What did you see? What's going on?
Now, we see you grabbing Mr. Crawford's arm, don't we?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I don't have anything. What's going on? I'm taking the ground.
And we see Officer Sims state that he was taking Mr. Crawford to the ground, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And he didn't take him to the ground with the arm that you were holding, did he?
No, ma'am.
He took him to the ground with his other arm, didn't he?
Yes, ma'am.
So you had one arm, Sims had one arm, but instead of cuffing Mr. Crawford, you did not stop Sims, and Sims decided that he would use that arm to take Mr. Crawford to the ground, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
It wasn't necessary, was it?
No, it may have been necessary.
Why?
Control before handcuffing is very important, because handcuffs themselves are serrated. That's the way the teeth lock into the mechanism, lock into the mechanism. And those handcuffs themselves can be dangerous when deployed during an altercation. And so generally you want to have somebody who's either completely compliant or has succumbed or, has surrendered to handcuffing before bringing handcuffs out.
What if you learned that Mr. Crawford already had one of his arms cuffed and the cuffs were already out?
Objection form.
Yeah, if that's the case, then we got to work to get the other cuff on in whatever way is the safest for him and for officers.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Give me your other arm. Put it behind your back.
What's going on? What's going on? I don't know what's going on, sir.
Okay. And can you tell me how Sims is positioned on Mr. Crawford here?
It looks like he's kind of mounted on top of him. I can't tell what part of his body he's on right now.
Okay. And it sounds like he's giving him an instruction, right?
Yes.
What's the instruction he's giving him?
I heard him say, give me your other hand.
Or give me your arm?
Sure.
Just to be clear, he had Mr. Crawford's arm before he got him to the ground, correct?
I believe so, yes.
And you had the other one, correct?
Yes.
And now we get him to the ground just to do what? Ask for his arm again, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got his hand? Yep.
What's going on? What's going on?
And we also see this ride along join in, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you ask for him to come help?
No, ma'am.
Yep.
What's going on?
Have you ever had a ride along join in restraining a suspect before?
No, ma'am.
What's going on?
Put your hand behind your back. I'm going to tase you. Put your hand on your back. Put your hand behind your back.
Who's that talking, saying, put your hand behind your back or I'll tase you?
That was me.
Okay. Now you testified and you actually see in this video that while you're asking him to put his hands behind his back or you're going to tase him, where Sims is located at, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I'm going to just back it up a little bit. Sims has his arms wrapped around Mr. Crawford, correct?
I think so. I can't tell super clearly, but it looks like it, yeah.
It looks hard to see. Let me see.
Put your hand behind your back. I'm going to tase you. Put your hand on your back. Put your hand behind your back. Put your hand behind your back.
Oh! Oh!
Taser.
Oh, sir, just do it.
Put your hand behind your back.
Oh! 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 Oh!
Watch out! Put your hand behind your back.
Oh!
And that was you that just punched him, right?
Maybe it's pretty blurry on my screen.
Can you see your fist making contact with his back right there?
Yes.
Okay.
Watch out! Put your hand behind your back.
Oh! Oh! No! Stop, please.
Is there a reason why you allowed this civilian to attempt to restrain Mr. Crawford?
Objection.
He's able to help. You know, if police officers are attempting to detain somebody, citizens step in. It's definitely not an uncommon thing that happens. There was no reason to stop him from helping us.
And there's not certain instances when citizens should come in and help an officer, like when the officer is in duress, or is it just fine to just, whenever you see an officer who has somebody that they're trying to detain, to jump in and go ahead and help out?
I mean, I can't speak to what what spurred the decision for him, but on a normal, totally compliant arrest, I'd say that that's something that I wouldn't allow. But on one where there's any level of resistance, and if someone wants to help, I wouldn't stop them.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you. And that includes allowing the civilian to punch and choke a suspect, correct?
Objection form.
That would depend on what's going on at the time with the suspect and the resistance and whatever.
What is Mr. Crawford doing here to warrant being punched and choked by a civilian?
I can't really testify the civilian's actions here, but again, we're just trying to get him to comply and go into handcuffs at this time. He's not doing so.
Did anybody ever tell him that he should comply so we can put you in handcuffs?
Yes.
Okay, let me know when you hear anybody tell him we're trying to put you in handcuffs, okay?
Put your hand on your back. Watch out.
Are you kidding me?
Taser.
Why are you?
Put your hand on your back.
No, stop, please. Don't.
Nobody's trying to kill you.
You're killing me, man.
Watch out. Put your hands on your back. Hands behind your back. Hands behind your back.
Now, in all this commotion, Mr. Crawford never once struck you, did he?
No, ma'am.
And he didn't kick you, right?
Not that I recall.
Yet we see him being choked by this civilian here, right?
I
can play.
Go backwards or forwards and
Okay.
have a look.
Well, Actually, that was Sims, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you hear what he said?
Yes, I did.
What did he say?
I think he said, "Do you want to go night-night?"
You knew what he meant by that?
Yes, ma'am. I understood it was a threat.
What type of threat?
Probably to bring him to unconsciousness.
I got both. Okay. I got him.
Do you hear Mr. Crawford?
Yes, ma'am.
He's groaning, isn't he?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm gonna put a cup on this one.
No.
Okay.
No, sir.
Put your hands behind your back.
No.
Relax.
Still being choked, right? Or this continuing to be choked, correct?
I mean, choked, I don't know. It looks like he's got his hand around his upper torso or whatever, but yeah, maybe.
Okay.
Stop pulling away.
Is it clear now?
Yes.
Okay. Have you been choked before?
Yes.
Was it a serious choking where you were afraid that you would die?
No.
Okay. What type of choking was it?
After this incident, I started doing jiu-jitsu, and I've been doing it ever since. And choking's a pretty common part of jiu-jitsu.
Okay. And when you're choked, what happens to the rest of your body when you're being choked?
Usually you relax.
Okay. And that's what they teach you in jiu-jitsu, right?
Well, yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
We already tased him twice. Yeah. Careful, the leads are all over here. Put your hands behind your back. Put your hands behind your back. Bring his other one around.
Now, whose voice do we hear there?
I think that was me.
Okay.
I got one arm. You get the
Give
other
me
one
that
out.
fucking arm.
Hey, man, give me your arm, dude. You're fucking bleeding your ass off. Give me your arm. All right. Let up. Give him just a little bit so he can get his arm. Stop. Hey, dude. Roll your arm over. Roll your arm over.
Roll your arm over right now, man. Roll your arm over.
How much you have? Huh? How much you have?
Roll
I'm
my
good.
leg.
I'm good.
Roll
How
him
much
up,
do you have in
face
there?
up.
Oh, all right.
Give me your arm, man.
I can't even tell. He's got a bunch of pills individually packaged. Okay. All right. Go ahead and cuff him. Slow it down. I got water. I'm fucking bloody. Sam. Kev, you got the leads. Hey, you tased me a little bit. Sorry. It's okay.
Okay. All right. I want to just briefly, there's another video I want to show just really quick. It's a short video. Now, this one doesn't have any sound. It's the surveillance footage.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Can you describe this scene to us from what you can tell?
Just the still frame right now?
Yes, at 0.00.
Yeah, I see. Looks like the car doors are open, and there's me and Sims and Mr. Crawford off to the right of the car.
Whose vehicle is this?
That's Sims.
Okay. And so we can't see your vehicle, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then we also see the gas pumps.
Yes, ma'am.
Are the lights at the gas pumps off or on?
On.
Does this look like after Mr. Crawford was taken to the ground?
Yes, ma'am.
And we see Officer McDaniels arrive, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And she didn't have any conversation with you, did she?
No, ma'am.
Now we see McDaniels striking him. We also see the civilian striking him, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
In time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now we see McDaniels put her foot on him, correct?
I think so. It's tough to tell.
Okay. We see another 2 more officer squad cars arrive, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
We see McDaniel's kicking him, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
It looks like another squad car arrived, correct?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. I want to go back just a little bit, and I want you to count the officers for me.
Like when you pause or where? When?
Yeah, I'm going to get to a pausing point, so I just want to make sure that it's not, it looks like, I think you know at this point who's there, but the video looks kind of dark, so I didn't want to make you admit something you didn't want to admit as far as how many officers were there at that point.
Sure.
Okay. All right. Can you count how many individuals are there? I know everybody's not an officer.
Looks like 4 at that point, plus Mr. Crawford.
Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and continue. And that was at the 1 minute mark. So that's the 5th officer showing up. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's 5 officers with Dunlap and Crawford.
Thank you. Okay. You completed a report in this case, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You guys are required to complete a report whenever there's a use of force, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And
well, any time there's an arrest. Yes, sorry.
Okay, so not simply use of force, but arrest also?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right, so this is your report that you're to complete whenever there's an arrest, or does that also include use of force? Do you have to make a report when you?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Serrett, can you agree that ultimately that Mr. Crawford, when you engaged him, he was not committing a crime at all, was he?
No, ma'am.
All right. So the only crime that Mr. Crawford was accused or could be accused of was resisting arrest, correct?
No, ma'am.
Okay. What else?
The possession of a dangerous drug for the improperly packaged prescription medication.
How and where in the penal code will we find that having your own pills and your own medicine bottle, which are not narcotics, but antibiotics, because you described it as a dangerous drug, I just want to be clear. Where can we find in the penal code that is a violation?
I don't know the chapter and verse in the penal code, but that is the offense title that you can find it under.
Tell me, I'm sorry, give it to me again.
The offense title is possession of a dangerous drug.
And that includes if you have a prescription, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Mm-hmm, okay. All right. So outside of the possession of a dangerous drug, which we consider antibiotics, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Outside of that, is there any other crimes?
No, ma'am.
Is there a reason why he was not charged for possession of a dangerous drug?
Officer Sims was the primary officer on the case and has discretion on what charges to file. Okay, so what's the answer to my question? I cannot answer that question, ma'am. Like I said, Officer Sims made a decision on what charges to file. So if you see a crime and another officer's with you, if they are the one who is in charge of the investigation, you're allowed to not go forward with that. Or excuse me, you're not allowed to go forward with the charge of the crime that you witnessed, correct? I'm not allowed to go forward with the charge of the crime that I witnessed. I'm sorry. Yeah, because you're the one who witnessed the pills, the dangerous drugs, the possession of dangerous drugs. That was your search and find, correct? Yes, ma'am. I located them. Okay. And so he was able to negate what you found in your investigation by going forward with whatever crime he wanted to charge him with, correct?
Objection form.
No, ma'am. The crime wasn't negated. That offense still could have been charged up to its expiry of statute of limitations.
Do you know why it wasn't charged?
No, ma'am, I do not.
Okay, but you never recommended it be charged, correct?
No, ma'am, I did recommend it to Officer Sims that evening.
Okay, where can we find that recommendation?
There's no record of it. I said it to him in person.
Is there anything else he could have been charged with, according to you?
Not that I'm aware.
So upon your investigation, if you saw that Mr. Crawford, if you would have read the bottle and saw that these were antibiotics, he still would have been arrested, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
So in actuality, you were not detaining him when you signaled. You wanted him to be arrested, correct?
I guess if I go back, would I have arrested him knowing that there were antibiotics ahead of time is speculation. It would depend on the explanation for the antibiotics and their unusual packaging.
Okay, but the crime was the way that they were packaged, correct?
Yes, ma'am, that's right.
Okay, it's the fact that they were wrapped inside the pill bottle that you're saying he was engaged in criminal activity, correct?
They were wrapped in individual baggies with a couple pills each, which, like I stated in my report, is consistent with narcotics sale and distribution.
Mm-hmm.
Whether he would have been arrested or not on that charge alone, had the resisting not occurred, is just conjecture. I can't really speak to that.
But that was a reason why you claimed to be detaining him, right?
Yes, ma'am, that's right.
Okay. What do you do for yourself now? Are you still in law enforcement?
Don't answer that.
You answer it. Are you still in law enforcement?
No, I'm instructing him not to answer. Don't answer that.
Are you still in law enforcement?
You can answer to the extent that you're in law enforcement.
I am no longer in law enforcement.
Are you in any type of legal career at all or have you had further education in the law since you've left Baytown?
No.
So this is the extent of your knowledge in the law, in the penal code, and in particular crimes. You gathered that information or that knowledge while you were an officer, correct?
Yes.
There's one additional video I want you to look at. Okay. Can you see the screen?
Yes.
What I want you to do is take a look at Mr. Crawford's injuries here.
Sure.
Okay. Can you see his eye?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. What does it look like to you?
Looks a little swollen.
I'm trying to get to the front of his face so you can. Okay. You see his face being cleaned?
Yes.
Okay. Where were you at when this was happening? Do you know?
I'm not sure when this is, or no, I don't know.
Okay. Were you there when the paramedics arrived?
Yes.
Now, in your report, what to get to in your report, you stated that you actually saw loose pills, that you found loose pills. That's false, isn't it?
No, ma'am. I mean, like I said, I'd have to go back and really watch the portion where I'm finding the pill bottle and the bag to be able to recall exactly what it was, but I would definitely not have written something that there were loose pills if there were not.
So were there more pills than what were in the bottle? Is that what your testimony is?
There's the individually wrapped baggies with multiple pills. And then it's possible there were also some loose ones in the pill bottle. Again, I'd have to rewatch the video to remember. It's been...
The pills are supposed to be loose in a bottle, aren't they?
Yes, I said in addition to the bags wrapped up, ma'am.
Okay. So if there are additional pills that were loose, that means you did not document the ones that were in the bottle on your report, correct?
Everything would have been photographed and turned into evidence. So even if the description was not perfect, the evidentiary procedure would have been. Basically, yeah.
Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Search his pockets really good. What do you have on it?
You see Mr. Crawford's face?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you had any other instances of use of force that to this extent?
Objection.
No, ma'am.
And how would you describe Mr. Crawford's injuries?
Looks like he has some cuts on his face that are bleeding.
Would you describe his injuries as minor?
I'm not a doctor or anything, so I mean, I don't know.
But you're a trained police officer, and you have to document those injuries when you are on the scene, right?
Sure.
So how would you describe Mr. Crawford's injuries that you see?
I don't know. He has some moderate to severe lacerations on his face, and he's bleeding. That's the only thing that I can see on the surface.
And then you've already detailed his eyes, right? How they're swollen.
Sure. Yeah. His eyes swollen. Yep.
Okay, they're swollen shut, correct?
I can't tell on the video.
His face is full of blood.
Yes, ma'am. Looks like it.
Have you ever been on a scene with that much blood as related to use of force?
Not that I recall.
All right. Well, I think that is the rest of my questions.